Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Delta Kitsune, and welcome back to Amorous. Boy, this is a familiar sight. We haven't been here in such a while, have we? Well, yeah, so as you can see, we are back at the club, basically. And there's gonna be 3 people I'm gonna be looking for. And I'm gonna try to interact and try to get their routes done, basically. I'm not gonna do all the characters, actually, since that would take too long, and I only know, if I'm being honest, I only know 3 people left in this game. If I'm being truly honest, yes, I've known this game, so I know what I need to do. But we're just gonna find the people that I want to do and see where we go from there. Alright, so first off, go here. And she should be right here. We saw her in the first step. Yeah, there she is. The back of the club smelled like a sour beer. It smelled of sour beer and cigarette butts. But in some ways, that bean... Oh my god, I can't read. God damn it. The suffocating smell of dancing bodies and 100 antiperspirants. The parking lot out back had a handful of others catching the breeze of the waterfront. Some were hanging out of their cars, taking a smoke and tailgating. God, I cannot read today. Jesus Christ. Others exchanged floaty goodbyes, trying to catch a few more minutes with each other in the privacy of their cars. Ugh. I could not but feel that some of the Patreons loitering around here were a little rougher than the glitter and short shorts of the club-goers inside. On the edge of the lively conversations. This is fantastic. Oh my god. A candidate with a nose ring was leaning on the wall to the back next to the building. His, or maybe her, jeans were fashionably torn, but fit well, showing off a somewhat effeminate curve of... Oh my god. Okay, well... All in all, they looked relatively androgynous, and the general impression I got was that, whoever they were, they seemed frustrated as they checked their phone repeatedly. Gender aside, the husky certainly seemed in a sour mood. Oh boy, I bet she is. Excuse me? I spoke as I headed over towards where the husky was standing. They looked at me and down in an almost dismissive way, putting the phone back in their pockets with a roll of their eyes. You seem like you're waiting up for someone. Anything I can do to help? My brother's a regular here and knows the staff. Nah, that's okay. Waiting on a friend, that's all. Doubt he's inside unless he's out of his damn mind. Out of his mind? Yeah, you know? Drunk, fucked up. No offense, but I don't exactly have any friends who make a habit of hanging out at the city's #1 hookup spot. As he laughed diversively and crossed their arms, they had somewhat of an accent. Not too thick, but with a tinge of something old country. New England, maybe? I'm not gonna attempt that, so I'm just sticking with whatever I have. Yeah, no. You wouldn't catch me dead in there. So we're coming from a person looking in an alleyway. I'll do this one. It takes all sorts, I guess. If your friends aren't into the club scene, I guess no one is blaming you then. Or blaming them. What the hell are you talking about? Though, I have to ask, if you hate the club, why you... Oh. Safe place downtown, dude. Safest place downtown, dude. The club bouncer is always... God... This is not planned at all. God fucking damn it. Oh, it's gonna be fantastic. So, I got my car jacked last year. It's able to park it here, and the parking's free too. I was waiting on a friend. We're gonna go for a night ride. Guessing that plan went to shit because he hasn't replied in ages. That sucks. Smart ideas though. Smart idea, though, parking somewhere with visibility, I mean. Thanks, dude. Saw it on a crime show once. Do you always call everyone dude? A dude is just a dude. Big dudes, little dudes, good dudes. It's not a gender thing. I call everyone dude, especially when I don't know their names. Fair enough. Well, I'm Kyo, if that helps. Esky didn't really seem the type to shake hands or anything, but they had nodded and smiled all the same. You're a bit of a stick in the mud, ain't you? Fine. No more duding. I'm Lex, by the way. Just there. Same, Kyo. Nice. Lex actually did offer their hand and shake. Leslie seemed a lot less frustrated now. They leaned back against the wall again, pulling out a pack of cigarettes and offering me my way with a fresh one between their lips. You smoke? Sure, all the time. Yeah, fuck it. Lex threw me a suspicious glance before holding up their own Zippo. Might work in there, but cool off the flurry shit, huh? Lex offered me the pack in their Zippo, and I took out a fresh one and lit up. We enjoyed the smoke and friendly silence as the night air fuck. After Lex had finished the last drag of their cigarettes, they slipped their phone out again and checked something before sighing. So, you going for all that shit? What do you mean? I mean, the showy swim stuff. You said you were new around here, but it seems like you're intent to show off every little detail. Okay, I forgot I was wearing the swimwear. So glad I got brought up. Just seems kinda dumb to me, hunting down people and dazzling them with some sort of flashy outfit. Cheap tricks just to get into their pants. The amount of hookups I've seen tonight is just gross. My god, there's so many options. You're coming to the outfit, so I guess it worked. That's that one. And nothing wrong with trying to catch someone's eye. I mean, that's why people wear their band shirts, right? So others know they're interested in the same thing. I guess the club is kind of like that. In a way, a suit shows you mean business. Raver gear is maybe more about leaving an impression. People who cross-dress are expressing themselves. Themselves, maybe? If it bothers you, well, I'm sorry. But if you're only talking to me because I'm wearing something flashy, well, I'd rather be flashy and have your attention than fade into the wallpaper and not get to meet you. Well, that's about enough of that. I guess you have a point about looking the parts, but I guess I'm not talking to you because you're so hot. I just had to know how you were. I don't need anyone trying to win me over by showing off some expressive outfit they got. I'm not looking at even if I was. Someone's wardrobe is way down the list of things I give a shit about. Damn. That's a topic you never want to do. So, Lex, you said this isn't really your scene? What kind of stuff do you usually do? Still can't read. Fucking goddamn it. This is fantastic. Lex sighed and chuckled. Even their voice was somewhere in the spectrum between tomboyish or a higher-pitched guy's voice. That might have been more to do with Lex's rough accent. I couldn't quite place it. Okay, I guess I'm kind of doing the right voice for her. Well, let's see. Usually I go, fuck. I shake my head. Fucking Christ, it goes so fast. What the fuck's going on? I'm causing up a storm. It's this retro bar and snooker hall. A lot of alternative kids go there during the weekend. But it's during the week they play a lot of classic rock and stuff. It's pretty cool. More my taste than the house and dance stuff they play here. That makes sense. How about in general? So, Lex, you seem like a pretty cool person. May I ask you more about you? Seems like you're not a local here. I guess. Ain't very interesting. They shrugged and continued regardless, and when I didn't look back, when I didn't back down, I grew up in the Northeast. Little town. More logging companies than clubs. My dad moved down here a few years ago. Stayed with him a bit, then got an apartment. You don't miss it up there? No friends back home or anything? Didn't have a problem making friends when I got here, so no. Wasn't that close to many people back then anyway. Only just finished high school when we moved. Couldn't fucking stand most of them, you know? Guess everyone's the same when they're into alternative music and shit, though. Hey, what about you? You sound more like a local. Yeah, I moved away a little for college. Congo? What the did I just say? My family has lived here ages, since my mom remarried. It's not so bad. I live with them and my stepbrother while I'm looking for more work. Cool. Well, it's a pretty neat place to grow up. Back home, they're pretty freaked out when I got my nose done. Here, one of my friends was like, aren't you gonna gauge that? You think I was fucking pinhead? You think I was a fucking pinhead at home? I can't speak still. How about just dislikes? So, I saw you checking your phone before we started talking. Are you much for phone games? Yes and no. It's fine for being bored and stuff, but I don't really stick with anything for long. Like those ego pets and stuff. I kinda get bored of that stuff pretty quickly. Understandable. Have a nice day. I used to when I was younger, on the bus of high school and stuff. But since I can pretty much drive it anywhere I want to go, I don't really have time. No one for those people who sneak in and they go, fuck. Ha, nope. I guess it's just kind of shit on multitasking. I'd never get anything done if I was trying to concentrate on those time management games. What about you anyway? Find those new ARG things you can play with your phone? What the fuck? Box push and roper? What the fuck? I mean, if it was me in real life, technically I'm addicted to Fire Emblem Heroes, but like, we're not gonna say anything, we're gonna lie. Ugh. I always hate when you're trying to talk to someone and they pull out a game. I'm always like, hey, okay, guess we're done talking. Fucking bitch. Don't worry, I only phone responsibly. Fucking quote. You'd better. Anyway, what are you saying, dude? Sorry, tangent. I guess we'll just go straight for it because I don't want to do that. Hey Lex, not that I'm not enjoying being chill in the alley, but do you want to go somewhere? You know what? Fuck it. Sure. What did you have in mind? Nope. This is that one. You mind if I take a rain check there? It's getting late, Kyo. I should probably start thinking about heading home. Fair enough. You're pretty cool, Kyo. Thanks for keeping me company. Why don't you give me a call sometime? Here, let me text you my number over. I'm glad we got to chat, Lex. Thanks for that. I'll give you a call later and maybe we can hang out. That's corny, dude. No need to make a big deal. Oh, but one thing. Next time we hang out, I pick the hangout spot. Deal. See you, Lex. It's probably the first time I'm ever gonna do like a freaking female voice, only because she's the only female I've done. Alright. Since we're here, we might as well go to the other guy I wanted to do. Right here. Never prepare my voice for this, though. Despite him being alone at the bar of one of the most active nightclubs I'd ever seen in recent memory, my eye was drawn to the slender feline leaning over his book. He would sit there for a long moment, and then, without cue, he would scribble frantically in the leather-bound journals spread out before him. Now and then he would lift his glass from the bar and lean back, pausing to take a drink as if someone was expecting him to. This adorable ruse was undermined, however, as each sip was followed by a grimace of barely contained disgust. Hey, I would probably do this first. I scrolled over to the bar as he turned back to his notebook, stopping at the edge before politely coughing to grab his attention. He looked up, eyes blinking open wide, his mouth slightly agape. Fuck, I still can't read. Clearly he expected to be a little more invisible than he really was. I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you mind if I ask what you're drinking? Oh! It's a 12-year-old Scotch. I figured I'd try something a little more direct than the usual mixed drinks, you know. Like drinks you'd get at the nightclub. It's very smooth but complex. Do you normally drink glasses of Scotch by yourself in a crowded nightclubs? Well, I could just sit in the bar without something in my mind. And there's no better place in town to watch people. Though the better question would be, what brought you over here to ask what I was drinking? Because you looked like you were drinking turpentine, and every time you took a sip. As I sat onto the stool next to him, his cheeks flushed red as he glanced between me and his drink. I don't really drink much. I assumed as much, though that does still beg the question and as to why you're in the bar, particularly if you don't drink. Oh, and it's Kia, by the way. Sorry, I know questions first isn't exactly the best manners, but you just seemed a little out of your element. Seth, I'm Seth. I'll admit, it's an escape, but it's also to help me work through the creative process. Many famous authors immerse themselves in the popular culture of their day to draw new experiences and observe people in new environments. So philosophical, damn. I suppose that's true. I thought most of them indulged in part because it was their particular interest, more than strict research. You don't strike me as the type to write romance or erotica, though. Why would you think that? I mean, I don't. But would you assume that was the only motivation for me to be at this club? Mostly because even the bouncers are wearing half the clothing you are. And because I came here with my brother Kobe, simply because this is his favorite place to meet guys. For a fling. You have to admit, your choice of ambience suggests something more than just curiosity about popular culture. By now he was blushing furiously, the spots of red visibly beneath his snowy white cheek fur. Despite his attempt to appearingly aloof, something spoke about his relative discomfort in being here. I'm not here to judge. It's just, well, interesting. I get enough stories from Kobe to get an idea of how this place tends to function, and you appear to be actively avoiding that function. Well, I'm honing my craft, trying to push myself outside my own comfort zone, so I have a breadth of experience to write from. It's the sort of thing authors do. So you're a writer? Maybe you've written something that I've heard of. What do you have out then? Out there? Well, I'm not published per se. I'm building a body of work before I approach anyone. Wouldn't want to come off as some sort of dilettante. What the fuck? Sorry, I didn't understand that word. So you just have, so you just like call yourself a title of a writer, without actually writing anything? You were worried about coming off as a little diligent. Diligent, I think it's called diligent. I do write. I'll have you know. In fact, I've been working on a little something right now. It's part of the reason why I'm here. And not home. Not at home. Too many distractions there. A pansexual multi-tiered nightclub with a dance floor and a pool is less distracting than your house? Do you live in a disco ball? Oh my god, that's an interesting statement. His ears flattened against his skull, his nose crinkled and twitched. It seemed that this line of conversation was hitting a nerve. Sorry, I mean, to each their own, but you have to at least admit that it's a little strange. I mean, most people go to some place quiet to think. I admit, it's a little odd. I get tired of living alone. Sometimes I just want to get out and be around people. Writing's a very solo thing. I get that. It's the biggest reason why I agreed to tag along tonight. Sometimes you just need to be around other people. Well, if I may be so bold, what brought you to the club tonight? Since you clearly aren't driven by any desire to quietly observe, nor are you obviously looking to get drunk or dance, I'm curious as what your motivation is. Mostly, I guess, to keep myself occupied and distracted. Kobe, my brother, very much likes this place but doesn't always want to go home alone. I needed time away from my problems and he wanted a ride. A match made in, well, necessity. Oh god. Well then, where else might you have gone if you had the option? Ignoring cost, location, and any of that. Here. Nah. If I'm being honest, I tend to be a little more restrained, so I probably would have gone somewhere a little quieter. A library, museum, or something like that. Somewhere I can hear my own thoughts. A smile twitched the edge of his mouth as he scribbled into his notebook. He tapped the eraser against the page before looking back at me thoughtfully. Feeling a bit out of your element too, then? I can totally understand that feeling, but it's always good to break out of your comfort zone. He seemed to be rather thrilled with his to-do interrogation. He looked back up from his notebook with excitement. So, being that we are in this club, and you already expressed curiosity as to why I'm here, what do you like about this club? Relaxing. I say socializing. When I'm feeling mopey or just have too much time, I find other people to be around. Conversation, laughs, and banter between friends really helps to perk me back up. He looked a little surprised, jotting down a few extra lines in his notebook before glancing back up at me. I suppose I should be he directed your attention to just me then. Extroverts commonly don't enjoy engaging with me or for extended periods of time. That's sad. So we've established where you want to be and why you want to be there. But the big question is, who do you want to be there with? What kind of person would you be looking for at this club? I get the feeling that this is somewhat a pointed question. I also get the feeling that there is something more going on here than simple research. He shot me a Cheshire cat grin and placed a hand on his chest in mocking shock. Clearly he was enjoying this intimate game of 20 questions. I mean, just get straight to the point, am I right? To be honest, you. I said about exploring the club at first, but you definitely caught my eye. There's a reason I'm here and not in the pool or down on the dance floor, and that's because you intrigue me. even though I'm wearing swimwear. He shifted a whole new shade of red as I smiled for the stool next to him. From the stool next to him. Absently, he looked away to scroll down a note or two before looking back up, clearing his throat to hide his shy response. Well, it's always nice to be noticed, though I'm not usually the type of person to stand out physically. I mean, I wasn't sure what was more adorable, his attempts to cover up his embarrassment, or the light shade of pink showing through his snowy white cheeks. Alright, one more question, and then we should find Kobe and figure out what he's planned for the rest of the night. I suppose I have been prying pretty heavily. That said, you have been a very interesting character to study to say the least. It's rare I actually get to interact with someone. I'd hope I was more than just an intellectual diversion. Is that not the case? I didn't mean it like that. I mean, it's been interesting talking with you. I've been here for a couple of hours already, and you're the first person who stopped talking that didn't want to take a drink order. I can't wait. I smiled and leaned back in the door and fuck. So, what's the last question? He hesitated, glancing down at his notebook for a second before scribbling something in the margins. As he looked back up, I could see his cheeks were still quite flushed. I was heading to the library tomorrow to do some research for a story. And there was a reading I was thinking of going to. Could I convince you to come along? Of course. I'd love to. What time? Really? I mean, great! The reading is a little before noon. But I'll be there early. Let me give you my number so you can call and let me know when you're getting there. Ugh. He tore off a corner of a notebook page absentmindedly, leaving a snippet of poetry on the upper half, and passed it to me. Thanks. It'd be nice to have someone else there. It's always a little awkward to go alone. It sounds like a date then. I suppose it is. I need to get going, but be sure to call me as soon as you're up. I'll make sure to save a seat. After gathering his things, he shot me another adorable smile and strolling off towards the door. I folded the paper and slipped it into my pocket. Nice. I'm debating whether we have enough time to... You know what? Fine. The last person is conveniently right there. This is the guy I was actually referring to when Zenith was talking about outfits. My hand barely touches the counter before the bartender is right in front of me. From here I can see that his uniform, while dapper, is clearly tailored for the club. His sleeveless vest and cuffed wrists are caped by a revealing tuxedo-style brief as well. Despite his state of near undress, he seemed quite chipper and buffs down the counter in front of me with a rag. Okay. Welcome to Amorous, hottest club in town. I'm Jax, and I'll be a beverage artisan for this evening. He winks at me before continuing. What can I do for you? I mean, obviously, you do the obvious thing. As I slid into one of the stools, he set a glass in front of me. I think I'd like a drink. What did you have in mind? Surprise me. After a moment's consideration, I decided that if I was going to try something new tonight, I might as well be adventurous. I'd put the drink menu down and smile at the bartender. You know what? Surprise me. Hit me. His smile lit up immediately, his twinkling with a little mischief, leaning towards me as he whispered in a conspiratorial tone. You absolutely sure? Like I said, hit me. I opened my mouth to speak when he leaned forward and pressed a finger against my Cheshire-like grin. Nope, too late. Flicking his wrist his cuffs, he began. His hand slid beneath the bar, wrist over wrist, and in a single motion he drew out 2 bottles, flipping both upside down and forward as he poured a shot of each into the glass before me, before flipping them over his fingers like an action movie pistol, setting them down on the bar and releasing them. Damn, that sounds awesome. Next, his hips shifted as I noticed his tail wagging around the neck of a 3rd bottle, lifting it smoothly off the shelf behind him and letting it roll down the full length of his tail into the small of his back. Damn. His right hand snagged the bottle from the neck, bringing it to the front. He gave it a quick shake of his wrist before flipping it over his index finger and settling down with the others. With another quick hip shift, his tail wrapped around the 4th bottle and launched it into the air. My eyes went wide as he almost completely threw the art. He caught the bottle by the neck and held it an inch or 2 above the glass before giving it 2 shakes. He tossed the bottle back behind him with a grin as it sailed straight down towards the tail tip. While it snaked around it, the bottle shifted enough that I could see it. His expression went from joy to horror as it smashed into the floor behind him. Oh my god, no! Damn it! That's going to come out my paycheck. My hand went immediately to my wallet, and I placed it down on the bar. Put it on my tab. You sure about that? That was a $45 bottle of booze. It's not like I'm going to lose my job over it. At least I hope I won't. He looked flustered for a second and composed himself. It's my bad, really. Job hazard. I couldn't ask you to cover this. I smiled. It's a good thing you didn't. You didn't then. I laid out 50 on the bar in front of him. You... wait? What? Are you serious? I don't... Congratulations are in order. You actually got me to shut up for a second. I'm just completely blown away by this. It's not a big deal. You gave me a fantastic show. I mean, wow! I didn't even know people could do that kind of thing. You're not helping with the whole looking professional thing here, you know? He grinned and put away the remaining bottles. Drinks on me, totally. You've just been too sweet of a customer to charge for one of my experiments. I'll get you your change. You earned it. All of it. Fair and square. That was mind-blowing. Your unabashed admiration is thanks enough. But I do think you forgot something. I furrowed a brow as I put my hands back on my wallet. He smiled and slid a slip of paper over to me. I think you'll know what to do with that. See you later. As he moved to the next customer, I flipped the paper over to see a phone number with his name in an embellished script below it. I slid the paper into my pocket. I'll be able to call Jack after tonight to meet up again sometime. Okay. Alright. With that, guys, those are the last 3 remaining people I'm probably going to do, because I'm not going to fully complete this game. But yeah, that will just about do it for this video, guys. We'll see what happens next time. I'll try to figure out who I want to do first. Let's start with Seth or Lex. It just depends on how I feel. But yeah, with that, guys, I'll see you in the next one, and I bid you all adieu. Bye!